Happy New Year from KDKA TV2.
What's your ideal? You have light hair,
I am interested in a long-term relationship.
redhead or blonde,
You finally think you're getting to that point,
busty.
and then they run.
Tonight on 48 Hours,
I want a woman to be a woman.
How you doing?
the opposite sex.
You're unbelievable.
Why men and women don't see eye to eye.
Why do you guys need a movement in the first place? Tired of getting higher pay for the same jobs?
He seems real nice.
The blind date.
She knows what a Caroline is.
Great expectations
Never been married, amazingly enough.
and late revelation.
What if I said to you that I wanted to be special to Richard, to Tim?
They're not just my children.
Now, Kev?
Married with problems.
I'm not the cook.
Like who makes dinner?
I told them that we're gonna starve.
They've had dinner almost every night.
And would you believe this man is a professional athlete? He'll tell you why dozens of women did.
Not a great-looking guy, but it was like I was a prize.
My friends are going to say, you went out with him?
Good evening and Happy New Year. Over the past 2 decades, America has seen a dramatic transformation in the status of women, a struggle for equal rights and equal opportunity that has changed roles and rules at work and at home. Despite this revolution, or maybe because of it, there's an unspoken tension between men and women, tension that surfaced in offices around the nation during the Clarence Thomas-Anita Hill debate in the fall. But as we found out during our 48 hours, the workplace is not the only place you can join the battle of the sexes.
What we want to do is show your chemistry, your energy. We're marketing you. So we want to bring out the best Barry we possibly can. Starting right now.
Thank you very much.
For many men and women, finding a date has become less of an adventure
The philosophy that I have for my life now is
and more of a job.
honesty, sincerity, fidelity.
A lot of people come in feeling that this is a last resort or that it's not a positive thing.
Katie Stapleton works for Great Expectations video dating service outside Philadelphia.
Everybody's in pursuit of this one relationship or one love.
Everyone, including Katie, who signed herself up as a member
We dated for a year,
and found Mr. Right.
and we just got engaged in August.
Statistics show men and women are waiting longer to get married, on average 3 years longer than they did in the 70s. So video dating has become big business.
I don't sit and read romance novels very much.
This is Ed. He's never been married. He's got his own business. He's been a member for about a year.
I would be picked up in a limousine
He selected Christina.
to the airport where a chartered plane would be waiting.
After looking at Ed's profile, Christina rejected him. Instead, she picked Paul,
I kind of think of myself as a Renaissance man.
who, after seeing Christina's file, rejected her but said yes to someone else. It gets complicated.
It takes work.
It also takes money. It costs about $2,000 to join. The membership lasts until you marry.
I love Mexico.
There's no limit to the number of selections you can make. Ed also asked to meet Penny, and she said yes. But that's another story. It's also complicated. We'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, it's all ironed and ready to go.
When Great Expectations members can't get dates the high-tech way,
This is the bachelor pad palace. What do you think? Black lacquer bed with mirror. What woman could resist?
there's still the old-fashioned way,
Oh, yeah.
singles bars.
In fact, 90% of the girls I've met in this area, I've met at Touche's.
Touche's is one of several dance clubs in the Philadelphia suburb King of Prussia.
When you're going to clubs, you got to have a partner. You can't just go, and if you want to meet females. I usually like to dress up. And women, being so clothes conscious, you know, they pick up on you know, a well-dressed man. Black Cavaricci's, white shirt. That's what the girls like.
Would you ever just bring a woman home with you that night?
Some people say I'm a womanizer, but in heart, I'm really a one-woman man. I'm just single. You know, I don't have a girlfriend, so.
You're unbelievable. You're fired up, ready to go.
I don't necessarily go out to look for men. I go out to have a good time, and if I meet someone, that's fine.
Remember Christina, the woman from Great Expectations who Paul turned down? She's also going out tonight.
It's a real happening place.
To another club called Nightworks.
I like this area.
Christina is meeting her friends, Alex and Cindy.
Right now in the dating scenes, you have to play a game in order to survive. If you don't want to play, then you're not in the league.
The game is simple, and there's only one rule. The more interested you are, the less interested you act.
You have to seem like you're not available in order for someone to be interested.
And if you come in with a I don't care attitude and be yourself, they go crazy. Wow, you know what I mean. Good evening, Mr. Calvin. Hey, how's it going, Paul? Good. Look at those unbelievable foxes. Good to see you guys, though. How you doing? You look nice tonight.
Are you looking for Ms. Right in here, or are you just looking for a good time?
Both.
Are you happy being single?
There is advantages to being single.
Like what?
Oh, you meet new girls all the time. Did you request this song just for me? Yeah. You don't get bored with a relationship, you know? I guess I grew up with the playboy mentality.
I am interested in a long-term relationship. And it just seems like you finally think you're getting to that point, and then they run. I am tired of guys asking for your phone number and then you hope they call and they never do. That's part of the problem in the dating scene right now is men still have that control.
Generally speaking, I can at least get a phone number every time I come here.
I mean, by the time you leave here tonight, are you going to have any phone numbers?
Well, maybe.
I would say the best two movies that I've seen recently are What About Bob and Hamlet.
Back at Nightworks, Christina has met someone.
But I want to see What About
But
Bob.
the tables have turned.
Well, I do hope you call. If you call me, good dinner.
I love that feeling of control instead of a male controlling the situation.
If you're really into Chinese food, I will take you to Mount Holly, New Jersey.
Cindy, are you ready to go?
It was incredibly nice meeting you.
You too.
And I really hope you call me.
It's like, no, he's going to be sweating. Am I going to call?
But not every man is waiting for Christina's call.
I mean, if you look at the rest of the animal kingdom, and now it's been up till the last 30 years, the man's in charge. The man makes the decisions.
Remember Ed, the man from Great Expectations who Christina rejected?
You just don't get up tomorrow and say, hey, it's the 90s.
I think men sometimes are intimidated by women that are too strong.
He's meeting Penny on their first date.
They want the lovely woman that is on their arm that they can look to and say, this is my partner, and isn't she beautiful, and aren't I a great reflection of her, and vice versa.
Later in our 48 hours.
A cold always starts small, but before you know it, your cold is full grown. That's when you need Dimetap. If it was any stronger, you'd need a prescription. Dimetap Extend tabs work for 12 full hours. It's the way to relieve the congestion and sneezing of a full-grown cold. Maximum strength Dimetap Extend tabs. Relief for the full-grown cold. And for colds and flu with fever, now there's Dimetap Cold and Flu.
Dentists tell you to change your toothbrush every 3 months. So does the new Oral-B indicator. When the blue band fades halfway, it's time for a new brush. The new indicator from Oral-B, the brand more dentists use.
Why fight the weather? Get to Sears and get a Craftsman half-horsepower garage door opener for only $139.99. But quantities are limited. So hurry to Sears today before you're left out in the cold.
She was born while her dad officiated at a speed skating meet. 4 of her 5 brothers and sisters won national speed skating titles. The youngest in her family, Bonnie, outdid them all. And at the '88 Olympics, she took on the powerful Germans and triumphed. America's own Bonnie Blair. Her story continues. The Olympic Winter Games are coming to CBS. Share a moment with the world.
It was a century-old tradition, but one teacher would change all of that.
Well, is this the dagger I see before me?
I'm hearing rumors, John, about some unorthodox teaching methods.
Presented with 13 minutes of new footage, Robin Williams.
Seize the day.
A network television premiere, Dead Poets Society, Friday at 8.
Saturday, the fired-up Falcons battle the force of the Redskins. Sunday, Emmitt Smith ignites the Cowboys against Barry Sanders and the Lions. The playoff battles explode on CBS.
All right, stand by, please. Quiet in the house.
At a rehearsal of the TV show Dear John, Kirk, the character who takes sleazy to new depths, is tackling the opposite sex question with his usual sensitivity.
Now I keep picturing you in a bra and a jockstrap.
I'm definitely going to bed.
I read the book.
New men, old pain. Geez, Frank, did you actually pay for that?
And Murphy Brown, who's been known to take target practice at the opposite sex, in this episode takes aim right at the heart of the new men's movement.
I can't stand it anymore. I've been locked up with you crybabies for 6 hours and I still don't get this movement.
Okay. Yeah. These men in Chicago have heard all the put-downs about the new men's movement.
It's relatively new. It can be easily mocked, by the way. All of it can be easily made fun of, but we're not afraid of that.
They're not actors, and the dialogue, unlike the Hollywood version, isn't funny.
I want to be listened to by a woman, and I want them not to take what I said and stick it in my face.
I can trust men right now more than I can trust women.
The movement, in truth, really isn't much of a movement. There aren't a lot of men in it. And those who are hardly represent a cross-section of American men. They're mostly white, mostly well-educated, mostly professional, and some say mostly full of baloney.
So why is there a men's movement at all these days?
There's a great need for us as men to get together and support one another and talk about our lives.
An ex-Marine named Asa Baber heads the group. He writes for a magazine in Chicago, Playboy magazine, where he writes the men column, arguing that men, contrary to popular myth, hardly have all the power in America.
Over all of these years, a lot of times, the feminists have stood up and taken just a nice little dropper of poison and put it into the pool of rhetoric. What I'm concerned about is that as a nation, as a culture, we are literally swallowing these images of men and women, the oppressed woman and the evil man. It's just drummed into our consciousness.
And if you think Baber is just one of those oversensitive males, consider this.
When hubby is a lazy bum, next Sally.
See, but I set the rules in my house. Either you do the job or you get out.
It is a mean-spirited and unfair vision of manhood.
There is something wrong with men. They're childish, they're immature, they do not want to have any long-term relationships.
It's in the rhetoric, it's in the writings, it's in the speeches, it's in the interrogations on the talk shows.
Investigating the rage of men, the violence against women. That's the focus of this edition of Geraldo.
We don't want to have the prejudice against us that by definition, as men, we are not nice people.
And why do you guys need a movement in the first place? Tired of getting higher pay for the same jobs?
That may be funny on TV, but Baber says it's no laughing matter in real life.
My dad didn't have a college degree. He was demoted and fired and not kept alive in corporate America all his life. Men have problems too. We get fired. We lose our kids in divorce. We get socked with very heavy payments that possibly aren't fair in divorce and child custody situations.
All right, ready. Quiet in the house, please. Here we go.
Back in Hollywood, in the world of situation comedies, the battle of the sexes is played strictly for laughs.
But I don't want you telling all the other women here at the center where I'm going to be living, because I don't want 1,000 broads coming over there.
I'm picturing Sissy Spacek.
Cynthia Heimel is a story editor on Dear John and a feminist who also writes about men and women. In fact, she writes for Playboy, one page away from Asa Baber.
You don't think men have been bashed? And
No,
there's a whole other side on that question, you know.
Well, I think that men have been, in some cases, justifiably bashed. I think they were pigs for a while. I mean, I think they did think that they were just going to get to have their way and everything, and they were going to come home and get that dinner on the table at 6 o'clock, and Mabel, nobody really cares what you think.
You've talked about feminism being tinged, I think is the word you use, with sexism.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the feminist movement, which was an absolutely necessary movement, it had to happen, and we're renegotiating a social contract, quickly turned into, I believe, a very angry and anti-male movement.
Asa sees everything as feminism gone mad. Asa sees feminists coming out at him from behind every tree.
I mean, you just think he's imagining things.
Yeah.
You really do?
Yeah. We're not a threat. We're not a threat.
Background. Action.
Of course there's been male bashing, but there's been a lot of women bashing, and a lot of it has really pissed me off.
I think most of us understand that the old social contract was not fair. It's not fair to lock a woman out of a job because she's a woman. I happen to think it's also not fair to put her in the job just because she's a woman.
We don't want to be sex objects. Men don't want to be success objects.
Precisely. And that's
So,
okay with you?
That's fine with me.
I think right here and right now, if we don't bring the image of men into a better light, we're completely screwed as a nation.
Thelma! Louise! Thelma! Louise! Thelma! Thelma! Look! In the car!
And we haven't even mentioned Thelma and Louise, this year's female bonding fantasy, where just about every man is just about every woman's worst nightmare. Maybe it's a good thing we didn't mention Thelma and Louise.
There's constipation and there's constipation. Oh, yeah. When it's this bad, take it to the max. New Maximum Relief Formula X-Lax pills with 50% more X-Lax medicine for maximum relief. Oh, yeah. Take it to the max.
If you smoke and wear dentures like my scriptwriter friend, you need new Smoker's Polident. It powers away tough tobacco stains. And now it has even more minty mouthwash ingredients to leave your dentures
minty fresh clean.
Try new Smoker's Polident.
In over half the homes in America, people come home to Kenmore appliances. And right now, the country's most popular brand of appliances is on sale at Sears Brand Central. So run over for our lowest price ever on America's largest usable capacity 7-cycle washer and matching Kenmore dryer, and save $62 on the pair.
No elbows on the table.
Remember when eating was simple? Calories, who cared? Salt?
Too skinny, Grandma.
Hey, no problem.
Pop, pass the butter, please.
Cholesterol, who knew?
Yeah.
Well, eating can be simple again with the new lean cuisine. Stouffer's gives it the taste you remember, but with less fat and salt.
Yeah, don't talk with your mouth full.
The new lean cuisine. Taste you can love for life.
It was a tradition that had lasted 100 years.
Honor, discipline.
But one teacher would change all of that.
Oh, is this the dagger I see before me?
Oh, Titus, bring your friend hither.
What the hell is going on here?
I'm hearing rumors, John, about some unorthodox teaching methods.
And no one would ever be the same. presented with 13 minutes of new footage. Robin Williams.
Seize the day.
The network television premiere, Dead Poets Society, Friday at 8.
The people of CBS News. Dan Rather.
Connie Chung.
Mike Wallace.
Paula Zahn.
Ed Bradley.
Leslie Stahl.
Harry Smith.
Morley Safer.
Bob Schieffer.
And Charles Kuralt. Experience.
CBS News.
Some helpful business tips. Don't take your problems home.
You're destroying yourself, and you're going to destroy us.
And don't mix business with trouble. Knots Landing, Thursday. Real-life stories about villains, victims, and heroes.
I'm trying to change the lives of people.
Stories closer to home than you think. Ed Bradley hosts Street Stories, Thursday, January 9th.
Scene of the crime tonight on CBS Late Night. It's too hot to sleep.
Kevin Wynn hasn't had a date in 11 months. It's tough to get out around here.
Outside wreck, A dorm and B dorm.
But his reputation as a ladies' man is intact among his friends at this Connecticut prison.
You know, they call me the con man. That's my nickname. And to them, I'm kind of a hero.
A hero?
Yeah, but I know I'm an asshole. You know what I mean?
Move, man, what you standing there looking at me for, man? When people ask you, as they must, what are you in for? What do you tell them?
I tell them that I'm in for impersonating professional athletes.
Technically, Kevin is in for stealing a car this time, but he's better known for stealing women's hearts and sometimes their money. He'd pick up women by pretending to be a sports figure.
How many times did you do it?
Well, how many times did you do it?
I don't even know. It's got to be, it's in the triple figures. I know that.
More than 100?
Yeah.
You conned more than 100 women telling them that you were a baseball catcher or a hockey player or some sports figure?
Yes. Now, out of the 100 women, I didn't get money from all of them. Some I would meet in a one-night stand or whatever you want to call it. And then that was it.
How good of an athlete are you?
Not very.
I got to tell you, no offense, basketball does not appear to be your game.
Not big enough, you know?
That's a pack of cigarettes, man.
Hey, you told them ladies you were an NBA star?
So how did a guy like this convince so many women that he's a professional athlete? A lot of it has to do with the kind of players he impersonated, like John Marzano, a catcher for the Boston Red Sox. Kay Whitmore, a goalie for the Hartford Whalers.
Able to come up with that one, too.
And Pat Borders from the Toronto Blue Jays, also a catcher.
That's a strike.
What did they all have in common?
Nah, that most of them were obscure. Most of them were backup-type players.
And it doesn't hurt that most of them wear masks. This is the real Kay Whitmore.
That probably explains why he looks nothing like me, the pictures I've seen of him anyway.
Kevin Wynn looks even less like Dana Williams, but he posed as him, too, as part of his campaign to impress women. So you would choose athletes who weren't readily recognizable?
Exactly. The name was known, but the face wasn't.
How were you able to get the money out of them? How did that work?
A lot of the times I would tell them that, well, a lot of times I would steal it, flat out.
Except for the stealing part, Wynn says he operated no differently than any other guy looking for a date.
Well, I think if you go in any given bar on any night, there's a lot of crap flying around. You know, you meet more doctors, lawyers, and consultants, and then these guys leave and go work at Burger King.
Every time he comes in, like, whoever's playing here in Hartford, he says he's on their team. I've seen him, I saw him last year.
Jennifer is a waitress at one of Wynn's old stomping grounds. For a while, she thought he was a hockey player with the St. Louis Blues. Why did you believe it?
I don't know, because he was telling me he knew the general manager and the guys on the team, and he was staying at the Sheraton. You know, I mean, everything just kind of fit, but...
Did you think he's attractive?
No. I don't think he looks athletic either.
No?
That's the one thing.
But you thought he was with the St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, I know, but I mean... I don't know.
What is it about sports players? I mean, why do you think that some of your customers, the women here, would be attracted to a guy?
Everybody loves a hockey player.
Really?
Yeah. Definitely.
I mean, I'd go to parties with the women that I met, and they wouldn't introduce me as their date John. They would say, "This is my date John, and he's a catcher for the Red Sox." You know? I mean, it was almost like they were one-upmanship against their friends. Look what I got. You know, it was like I was like a, and I'm not a great-looking guy, but it was like I was a prize. You know, look at what I got here.
Sure, some gal might love to go tell her friends, oh, I'm dating a professional baseball player. And
Scott Bradley actually is a professional baseball player, but he says the women he met were not impressed with the fact that he's a backup catcher for the Seattle Mariners.
I'm going to be Scott Bradley this winter.
So he used to lie to women about his job.
You'd end up telling them lies because you really didn't just want to come out and say you play baseball, because most of the time they wouldn't believe you anyway.
If you believe Kevin Wynn, he had more luck using Bradley's name than Bradley did. It worked with a woman in Massachusetts.
I told her I was Scott Bradley from the Mariners, and they weren't even in town. And then, of course, I had her bank card, and I was taking money out of her account every night. And we just finished having sex.
And the girl's parents called her up and said, well, if you say that you're with Scott Bradley, we're watching him on television right now.
She said, what do you mean he's on television? He's laying right next to me. And I got very concerned at that point.
Why do you think the women bought it?
The women believed because they wanted to. They were in love with an idea, not with a person. Okay? I could have been, and maybe I am in some people's book, but ugly as the Hunchback of Notre Dame, okay? But they were in love with the idea that the Hunchback of Notre Dame played hockey or played baseball. So it was the idea about it.
Daniels, good shoulder by Daniels. Puck given up. Duchesne and drive, he scores!
Understandably, most of the women who were taken in and taken out by Kevin Wynn didn't want to talk about it on camera. But on the phone, they all said they didn't go out with him because they thought he was a sports figure. They went out with him because they thought he was a nice guy.
I long to feel this touch of your soft, gentle hand. I know together we can conquer this land. I miss the way your hair falls upon my chest. God has shown me that you are the best.
Who'd you write that for?
Carolyn.
And who'd she think you were?
Phil Plantier.
Of the Boston Red Sox. But that was the old Kevin Wynn.
In the back seat.
The new one is getting out of prison today.
It's a great day to be free.
I'm kind of close to get on that bus.
Am I? I'm gonna get laid tonight, you know.
And now? You're gonna walk the straight and narrow?
I'm gonna do my best to walk the straight and narrow, yes. And
women should remember this face.
They should, you know.
And you'll tell them your name is?
Kevin Wynn.
But can Kevin Wynn get what he wants as Kevin Wynn? We'll check back.
Sports is my claim to fame. You could say that.
Do you play?
You could say that.
Are you on the Whalers?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Mom sent pictures. You're as big as a house.
Oh, you should see me.
Moments like this were made for Gold MasterCard. With the added credit you've earned.
That's a long way away, Maru. And you'll need the map.
Plus, no card is more welcomed at home or abroad. Not American Express, not even Visa.
Oh, Lori, I can't believe it. How in the world?
Gold MasterCard, the best gold card to master the moment.
It's Sears' biggest fitness sale. Walk, jog, or run with this 1.25 horsepower Lifestyler treadmill with auto incline and save big. Introductory price, just $499.99. Hurry, offer ends soon at Sears.
Come on, Daddy. No, you go ahead, honey. My throat really hurts.
When your throat is sore and it's feeling raw, Sucrets wraps your throat in soothing relief.
Much better.
Only Sucrets has diclonine for long-lasting relief. Sucrets wraps your throat in soothing relief.
The hopes are that you meet somebody that you want to spend time with.
48 Hours will continue.
This is CBS.
You know, a lot of men want to know more about Rogaine with minoxidil. If you're one of them, I have good news for you. Now there's a video prepared especially for men who want answers to their questions about Rogaine. Simply call 1-800-695-5543, and Upjohn will be glad to send it to you, absolutely free. Now, once you've looked at it, you'll probably want to schedule an appointment with a doctor. After all, only your doctor can prescribe Rogaine. And if you call right now, Upjohn will also send you the names of doctors in your area who can help you decide if Rogaine is right for you. You'll also receive a $10 certificate as an incentive to see your doctor. For your free videotape that gives you the complete story on Rogaine with minoxidil and your $10 certificate, call toll-free 1-800-695-5543. So what are you waiting for? Make the call today.
Hi, I'm Larry Richard, and this is Beasley, one of the hundreds of tropical birds that roost here at the Pittsburgh Aviary. Each year, flocks of visitors come to enjoy these rare and exotic birds, and thousands of children get a bird's eye view through the aviary's educational programs. But the aviary's future is uncertain and needs your support. Every time you purchase any KT Wild bird food, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Save the Aviary Fund. Look for KT products at your local grocer and help save the aviary.
Coming up in just a half an hour, we'll have this week's Crime Stoppers report. It's about a convenience store robbery in Oakland last week. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the store surveillance camera picked up the robbery. We will show it to you tonight, and if you have any information, it could be worth up to $1,000. Details are coming up on Eyewitness News Tonight.
So I looked at the video. He seems real nice.
Remember Penny?
Good sense of humor. Never been married, amazingly enough.
She's one of the clients of the Great Expectations.
I mean, he scuba dives, too. That was like the clincher.
Video dating service.
Just seems real nice.
Ed asked her out, and she said yes.
We'll see.
Tonight they're meeting in person.
I'm looking for someone that is not terribly unattractive.
Penny is divorced.
A real person who's not overly concerned with
Ed has never been married.
Money or position.
He's part owner of a gourmet pie company.
I mean, I was attracted to her from her pictures. She wasn't all frizzed out and discoed up.
So you've got to make sure I look good, make the hair, you will see what happens. I think men are concerned with the physical. What's more fashionable, Ken, be honest with me? A blonde cutter. The lovely woman that is on their arm that they can look to and say, this is my partner, and isn't she beautiful, and aren't I a great reflection of her, and vice versa. God knows I don't want to have frizzed hair for Ed.
No.
No.
What, women aren't?
Some women are. I think that they are.
Well, I mean, you are, right? I mean,
well,
why do you belong to a video dating service?
I mean, I can't say to you that if a strange person with, 4-inch Coke bottle glasses and buck teeth asked me to go out, whether I would have the strength to say, yes, I do it. I don't know.
But I do think that women like to spout the company line of emotions and sensitivity. But I think that comes after their physical and sort of real requirements are met. Let's see, tonight, that shirt, or her corduroys, nice sweater that's just nice with those pants. So now I do all this stuff myself. If you're married, you have a wife, and your wife does it, right?
Dan, okay, it's 6:30, I'm home now. Give me a holler when you get here.
That's it. This shirt with shoulder pads to make it effective. This underneath, and then a lot of women are looking for to be taken care of. Casually across the shoulders, this, like that. Yeah, they want financial security. Well, a lot of times they're having to deal with the possibility of children, and it ends up falling on their back if something doesn't work out. Who supports the children?
What are men looking for?
I think men sometimes are intimidated by women that are too strong.
What makes a woman too strong, do you think?
Who is financially stable, or seems to be, who has her house, her life seems to be somewhat in order.
You need somebody to steer the ship. If I'm married and I'm making, I don't know, $35,000 a year, and my wife is married and she's making $35,000 a year, well, who makes the decision? Yeah, she knows what, this girl I'm going to meet tonight, she knows what a Caroline is.
When you're dating, who should be in control?
Well, I like it that when I go out, obviously, that I'm in control. I want a woman to be a woman. I mean, I'm not
Ooh, Ed, you're going to get in trouble for the woman being a woman.
Right.
You mean you want a woman to do what you want...
What I want?
...her to do.
Well...
Excuse me, but that's really what you're saying, right?
Let me think about that. Yeah, most of the times.
See you later, thanks.
Today,
right.
I think that men feel guilty and frustrated because we would like to behave that way. But our behavior, our genetic behavior, is based on hundreds and thousands of years of evolution. You just don't get up tomorrow and say, hey, it's the 90s.
He may stand me up, you know? You never thought of that.
The hopes are that you meet somebody that you want to spend time with. You know, it doesn't always work out that way. I mean,
What if, you know, like he looks at me and says, whew. And what if I look at him and say, whew?
always carry some carefree bubble gum, you know. I don't want to meet this girl and blow dragon breath all over her.
I'm thinking we're going to be late, and he's probably going to be one of those people that's always early.
Now we're running a little late.
He's going to say, irresponsible.
This man's not punctual.
Oh, he's probably right.
Maybe she'll leave.
Yeah, he's not here. We're cool, we're cool.
And there is Penny.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Nice.
Later, the ups and downs of their first date.
There'll be plenty of room, and then because I want to take Penny
Are you giving orders?
up on top.
I don't think you know how hard I work. Good morning, Hedges.
I know how hard you
I
work.
don't think you really know how hard I work. Okay, Lloyd.
How can you say this when I see you walk out the door every morning?
Leslie Dolly runs a flower shop.
Mitchell's Garden.
David Dolly owns the adjoining nursery.
Is there anything I can help you out with today, sir?
Is there a side of you that thinks your work is more important than Leslie's?
Well, I wouldn't want to put it that way, but I run a very busy business. Makes more money than hers, so where am I? What am I to say? 1975 out of 20. But when it comes really down to it, dollars and cents, gee, that's just where it's got to go, I think, isn't it?
I've done my part.
I'm not saying you haven't. Not at all. That's where I'm going to get ready and head to then, okay?
13 years ago, David and Leslie were married, for better and for worse. The business got better. The marriage got worse.
How bad did it get?
Bad enough to leave or to want to leave or want him to leave.
In this battle, the casualties were on the home front.
The basic family responsibilities not being taken care of.
Not having had the wash done, not having a clean house, not having food.
I mean, the kids weren't being watched, you know, having dinner at a reasonable time and being taken care of in the evening hours.
And you thought that was Leslie's job?
Yes.
He can do more. He's capable. He's capable. Men should help. They're not just my children. They're our children.
They were always working, and they came home really, really late.
Katie is 8, Michael 13, Daniel's only 5.
What time are you guys eating dinner usually?
About 9, 10 o'clock. Yeah.
Now, if you were eating at 9, 10 o'clock at night, what time are you guys going to bed?
About right after dinner.
11 o'clock, really?
I told them that they should get home earlier, or else we're gonna starve.
Did it work?
No.
Why didn't you make dinner before 9 or 10?
I just, I'm not the cook. I don't cook. I cook some things,
There you
but
go.
I just don't cook. I guess that's the reason why. If it was, if...
It's not his job.
No, I don't know. I mean, I can... She's the, you're the shopper, right? You're the cook?
You can shop as well as I can.
No, I can't.
Why were you waiting for Leslie? You know, she's working full-time, too.
Maybe I'm just saying, you know, stop what you're doing and come home.
But I'd like for you to do the same thing.
Is it possible that he may not do enough at home, but maybe you're doing too much outside the home?
Yeah. But I love it.
I love it. I love what I do. I wouldn't do anything else.
So we're gonna take separate cars?
At this point, they have one choice, to see a divorce lawyer or a marriage counselor.
Is that all right?
Yep.
I think she should change the sign on her door.
She is.
They've really let the husband-wife relationship go. They've put all their focus on other parts of their lives, their kids, their business, and they haven't attended to the marriage.
Emily Brown.
The thing is, everybody's working now. Both parents are working. And I think that has pushed mothers and fathers and men and women to be more alike than they used to be in the past, except that the old role expectations are still there.
Just one more thing.
First step, working out a new schedule. Less time at work, more time at home.
No, we did make an agreement that he would do the mornings and I would do the evenings. But the evenings are twice as long as the mornings. Because by that time, I'm tired. And I need help. I really need help.
What'll it be for breakfast?
Under the new schedule, it's David's job to get the kids up and ready for school. When you first got married, is this what you expected you'd be doing as husband and father?
No.
How you doing? Are you awake?
What did you expect?
That she would be doing it.
He still thinks that it's my job. He does. He was raised that way.
My father got up in the morning and went to work. And my mother stayed home and took care of the children. And don't I make the best waffles around?
I look back to my childhood, and my mother was always there.
You ready?
Every day after school. Every morning we had a hot breakfast. Every night dinner was on the table. We'd go to bed at night, and we had iron sheets. It was wonderful. It's a life my children will never know.
Good morning. And let me brush the top for you, Katie. Let me get it back for you, okay?
Do you think the kids would still rather have Mom here in the morning?
Well, definitely, Katie. I guess the two guys, you know, they're fine with Dad.
Wait, it's 4:30. I turned into a pumpkin.
Leslie's part of the bargain is to meet Daniel's bus at 4:30 sharp every afternoon. How often have you actually made it, honestly?
Almost every day I've been there. But I have a tendency to stop and go back to work. Pick up the phone and make phone calls that didn't get made. Now, kiss. That's neat. This is great.
And if it isn't tough enough already,
Look at this table.
Leslie is about to open another flower shop a half-hour drive from home.
It's my store.
Is that important to you, to have your store?
Very important.
Why?
To have my own store and for David to have his own store.
You've had a hard time balancing just with the business you have, and you're adding another business?
It'll be fun. We'll all have a good time, and I'll be home every day at 4:30 cooking dinner.
You can't do it under your current situation. How are you going to do it?
I'm home every day at 4:30.
Right, but you're not there cooking dinner every night.
I've had dinner almost every night. Michael's afraid I won't be home.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
You won't be home. Because every single time you go there...
Maybe I shouldn't have asked this question.
Because every time you go there, you always come back at, like, 11 o'clock at night.
Add it up for yourself. 2 stores is more time.
Okay.
Right?
We'll see. We'll see.
Yes, we will.
Next, the man who drives the U.S. bobsled team.
Most guys kick back on the weekends. Jack, on the other hand, good. So, how do you feel?
Pretty rotten.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Tomorrow,
we're sleeping in. In a high-speed sport long dominated by Europeans, Brian Scheimer is driving the U.S. into the upper ranks of bobsledding. The former college football player immediately fell in love with the sport when he first tried it in 1985. Scheimer says the ride is like Star Wars.
Budweiser is the sponsor of the Winter Olympics broadcast on CBS.
I got a call from one of those other long-distance companies, you know, save big time. Leave AT&T, so I say, I don't pay a lot with AT&T. Thank you. My call waiting clicks. This is funny. It's so weird. It's another long-distance company. So, I mean, can you imagine? I'm like, hello? Well, no, I already have a good deal. Could you hold? I already tried you guys once, remember? Could you hold? Well, I didn't say big last time. You're still there? Give me a break. They're just not AT&T. Are they, booby?
An afternoon of playing grandparent can take quite a lot out of you. Magnesium, for example, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and valuable potassium. As nature would have it, replacing all of them is as simple as eating one Chiquita banana. In the case of twins, however, you might want to try two. Chiquita, quite possibly the world's perfect food.
Two desperate teenagers hold up a bank. Now the lives of hostages depend on an unarmed top cop.
Innocent people are gonna die. Now, got to end this thing.
Thursday.
When a murderer leaves no clues, only one man.
Who was that?
Head of internal medicine.
Can solve the mystery. Dick Van Dyke in Diagnosis of Murder Sunday.
Come to a place where fantasies become reality.
It's magic.
And where anything can happen. When Hearts Are Wild. Premieres January 10th.
Remember Kevin Wynn?
Not a great-looking guy, but it was like I was a prize.
He got dates by telling women he was one of several professional athletes. Usually catchers or goalies whose faces are not well known.
That's a strike.
Women go crazy over athletes.
He also stole things from the women he conned.
The women believed because they wanted to.
When he got out of jail, Kevin Wynn said he wasn't going to lie to women anymore.
And you'll tell them your name is?
Kevin Wynn. All right, thank you.
Are the women of Hartford safe from you?
I think they're pretty safe.
We met up with him 2 weeks later.
This was the mall that you operated in. This
A
mall.
lot. All the hockey groupies hang out here. It's kind of funny because I have a feeling every time I walk through this place, people stare at me, you know. They know who I am.
Kevin is something of a celebrity. He was the subject of an 8-page spread in Gentleman's Quarterly.
You got some response to this article.
Well, yeah, I noticed that today when I was flipping through, that there was one letter in the letters to the editor where the guy thought that I was just the greatest thing since fried beans.
What women want.
What women want.
This letter goes on, women love lies. They love being manipulated by famous, handsome, fast guys who will take them for a ride.
Yep.
Is that true?
It could be.
I mean, why'd you have to do it?
I didn't have to. I didn't have to. But this is going to sound rude, but it got him in the bed quicker. Point blank, you know.
While we were interviewing Kevin Wynn, some of the crowd at the bar noticed the camera.
Why are they doing a story on you?
It was the kind of attention he used to attract by other means.
Okay,
Sports is my claim to fame. You could say that.
Do you play?
You could say that.
Are you on the Whalers?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I played for a lot of different teams.
What was your name?
Kevin Wynn.
I've heard that. I've heard that last name.
Kevin Wynn used his real name here. Has prison really changed him?
You've been out of prison for, what, 2 weeks now? Have you been a good boy?
For the most part. I almost had a slip up, but for the most part, I've been all right.
Have you run this con again?
I did.
You did?
I did. But I stopped it before it got too far.
Who'd you tell the woman you are?
He told me that his name was Kevin Kerr and that he played for the New Jersey Devils. Now,
This is Kevin's latest target. She did not want her name used or her face shown. Did you believe him? I mean, did you have any reason not to believe him?
I totally believed him.
And we got to talking and whatnot, and she worked at the pool at the hotel. And, you know, one thing led to another.
He kept calling me at 4 or 5 times, I'd say 4 times a day.
I borrowed her car, okay, legitimately borrowed her car.
He stole my car, but What am I going to do? He brought it back, and I have no idea why.
Somebody recognized me. Okay.
I think what he does to women, he takes advantage of them, and he exploits them, which isn't fair to us, and makes women look bad.
But women buy it. The women bought his story.
Yeah, I bought it. Women will buy it. But then again, women also have this tendency to believe things that people tell them more than men.
When we left you at the bus stop, when you got out of prison, you said you were going to only tell women that your Kevin win.
You're right.
Why'd you do it?
Well, who can I blame this on? You know, I blame it on me. But they didn't give me anything to get back on my feet when I was out of prison, and it seemed pretty hopeless. And you always go back to what you know, and I was good at it, and I didn't lose it. You know, I know that. I didn't lose it.
It's either
That's hockey.
It's hockey? So did you, like, invent a really good puck or something?
No.
You invented a good stick.
There you go.
Saturday, a young boy from the city, a prospector,
You wouldn't last a day out here.
and an untamed wolf
Watch out!
team up to chase a dream.
Rich.
In an unforgiving wilderness, the greatest challenge of all is survival. The network television premiere of Jack London's adventure classic, White Fang, Saturday.
It's time to start your New Year's diet. So include the Kellogg's Special K breakfast and make up for the way you ate this holiday season. Kellogg's Special K. Lose the holiday fat.
In over half the homes in America, people come home to Kenmore appliances. And right now, the country's most popular brand of appliances is on sale at Sears Brand Central. So run over for our lowest price ever on America's largest usable capacity 7-cycle washer and matching Kenmore dryer, and save $62 on the pair.
Ed and Penny's first date begins with a concert at sunset, performed by Ed's friend, Frank. He plays the carillon at Valley Forge National Park.
I'm going to go up on top and take her. Would you play Fisher's Hornpipe while we're up top?
Oh, God, look at that.
It's all the park.
This is gorgeous. What a great idea.
Next, dinner at the Tiki Bar in nearby Earlville.
You order your entree, right?
Where you grill the main course yourself.
I'd like to have 2 shish kebabs. Can I do that?
I need to have one of those black diamonds.
That's a great idea. You did so good. I'm so proud of you. You did so good. You did good.
How's it going?
Wonderful.
Really?
It's wonderful, yeah. She knows about a Hammond. She knows what a Leslie is. She saw the other night.
What's a Leslie?
Well, see, a Leslie is the speaker cabinet that goes along with a B3, with a Hammond B3. I was going to be like such a good boy, and I swore, like, I'm going to be such a
I
good boy.
bring up the worst, yeah, that's all.
What is a Hammond B3?
It's an organ. I'm sorry. It's an organ.
Is this the basis of a relationship?
Well, it may be. I don't know. Okay, so let's do this thing over here.
He's really nice. He's a character. He's very much interested in music, which I love music, and I know a lot about what he likes.
So, I know it's early, but would you see him again?
No, not yet.
Things are going very well for Penny and Ed.
And it's burnt.
Not so well for their dinner.
One scallop, one shrimp.
And there are a few more rough spots ahead.
Does Ed want to be, like, special to 5,000 people?
Yes.
And nobody in particular?
Special to as many females as I find attractive that you can impregnate. See, you don't like that, do you?
What if I said to you that I wanted to be special to Richard, to Tim?
Oh, but you won't. You won't. You know why?
Who says so?
Oh, I'm telling you why you won't.
Why?
Because you have one egg.
But I don't
One single egg. Genetically, a man, you have like billions of sperm. You're made to impregnate as many females as you possibly can. A female, on the other hand, she has one egg.
My friends are going to say, you went out with him?
Behavior was applicable hundreds and thousands of years ago, but today, it's not appropriate behavior.
No, I would never say you don't know what you're talking about. I just say I don't choose that worldview. That's all I'm saying.
I don't see why in today's society I should have to suffer or constantly be on the defensive because I feel the way I feel. I mean, who gives females the moral high ground? I mean, because you think that it should be a monogamous situation, right?
No.
Whether you should find somebody who thinks that you're only special. So, what gives you the moral high ground about that? Maybe I think that's just all bullshit.
But no, all I'm saying to you is that for me, that's important. I'm not saying to you that you should be that way, that anybody else is wrong. I'm just saying that for me, that's appropriate. That's what I would like.
At the end of the evening, Ed and Penny were able to put their genetic differences aside.
This has been the treat of my life. I'm just telling you, it's been wonderful. And it's something that, you know, I would be very upset if I never saw you again.
Ed took Penny back to his pie company, where we left them in the storage room. Ed serenading Penny with his Hammond B3 and Leslie speakers.
Be whisked away to somewhere tropical. I don't know where.
But remember Christina, the woman who rejected Ed? They met through 48 hours, went out the next night, and began dating steadily. It's complicated.
That it is. Do men and women understand each other? One thing both sexes agree on is no. At least according to a 48 Hours New York Times poll taken just after the Clarence Thomas hearings. More than half the people we spoke to said women don't understand the problems of men. And 3/4 said men don't understand women. No wonder it's complicated. I'm Dan Rather. That's 48 Hours for this week. Coming up, your late local news. But first, here's a look ahead to our next report.
During the brush, something spooked them. Ándale, 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 ándale.
They'll do almost anything to get to America.
That's not the Border Patrol. Those are bandits. When the Border Patrol finds you, they shout.
Where the dream of a new life meets the reality of a nation that's had enough.
Yeah, you better haul ass back, dude, right now.
Desperate journey. Next week.
Looking for mystery? The clues can be found at the scene of the crime. An all-new Scene of the Crime tonight on Crime Time after Prime Time. Thanks for making CBS the most watched network this year. Now get ready for your local news next. For a transcript, send $4 to Journal Graphics, 1535 Grant Street, Denver, Colorado, 80203.